crypto follows this. In fact, Bitcoin's been moving in line with something that most traders aren't watching. And altcoins, well, they've been following some completely different rules. And after 7 years of research and study, I finally nailed down exactly what has been driving price action. And it's 2 simple signals that you can track in real time. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what has been moving the crypto markets and how to spot it for yourself so that you can prepare yourself accordingly to either DCA in and continue to add to positions or start to scale out, taking profits and selling up. Do me a favor, hit the like button and let's find out what's going on. Now guys, before I show you how I am personally using these models in predicting the most likely moves for Bitcoin and the altcoins over the next 3 or so months ahead, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you should understand that it's risky and you can lose money. So don't risk money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Now guys, I understand that right now you're probably desperate to go and check out this Bitcoin chart and understand exactly when we are likely to see the Bitcoin price hit that key signal, which could potentially give us a decent move for Bitcoin. But before we do that, we need to understand the 2 major components of this crypto market and how they've been moving differently, because by understanding this, we're going to understand not only what's going to drive the Bitcoin price into the future, but also the altcoin. So what are the 2 main components of crypto? Well, you've probably got the answer already. The first one is Bitcoin, and the other is simply the altcoins. Allow me to explain. You see, Bitcoin and the altcoins haven't been moving in the same direction over the past few years. Yes, there's times where they kind of correlate together, but actually they've been kind of doing their own thing entirely. I mean, look at these. This is Bitcoin on the top, and on the bottom, you've got the others chart, which is the altcoins outside of the top 10. You'll notice that Bitcoin topped in 2021 around $67,000 before falling down until the end of 2022 at $16,000. It then climbed nearly 700% until around October of 2025, putting in a high that was around 84% higher than the previous all-time high all the way back in November 2021. In contrast, the others chart below shows a very different story. Whilst in 2021 it did top at the same time as Bitcoin and then bottom almost a month later in 2022. Whilst it did top in 2021, pretty much around the same time that Bitcoin topped, and it bottomed in December of 2022, which is near enough around the same time as Bitcoin, it then finally put in this high around the beginning of December 2024. Now that was around 10 months prior to the Bitcoin top, which happened in October of 2025. Not only that, but that top was also 8.7% lower than the top that it hit all the way back in 2021. Now, I know everyone will be making excuses as to why this has happened based on the fact that retail never came back, based on the fact that BlackRock isn't buying altcoins, they're buying Bitcoin and whatever else. Fine, that may be a belief that you hold, and there's no problem with that, but allow me to explain as we go through the different data that we have to compare why these 2 things happen, because by understanding that, you can start to understand that it is possible that another altcoin season has high probability of happening. It also allows you to understand when that could be happening, because it requires 2 major things to happen, and if those 2 things take place, then we are going to see altcoins booming once more. But before we dive in and check out altcoins, let's understand what has been moving the Bitcoin price. Now, for those of you who were subscribed to the House of Crypto just a few days ago, chances are you saw me talk about these key lines, because these lines could well allow us to predict where the Bitcoin price is potentially heading next. And for those of you who missed it, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out in future when we start to piece together how crypto moves and what is really behind driving these markets. Now, just for the sake of reminding everyone, because I know we talked about it the other day, maybe it's a bit rushed, and explaining it to the people who are new here, we have 2 lines to pay attention to here. The blue line is the global M2 money supply, and the orange line is simply the Japan M2, and this is exactly why it's relevant. And before I explain what they are, allow me to show you how relevant these are to this. Every single time that the Bitcoin price was spiking up over the past few years and putting in a local high, it was in line with when the Japan M2 was spiking up and putting in a high. Every single time there was a low and it pivoted up was the last time in which the price sat at that bottom. You can see that this then happens again. Here we get a big spike towards the upside. It's the end of this downtrend. Spike towards the upside, you get this pivot here, downtrend here, finishing up, uptrend, tops, and then basically it falls back down. It then even traces around here, traces around the next one, and then gives us an indicator of what could potentially be happening into the future. Now, I know right now that looks very, very scary, and I understand, but we'll talk about that slightly later on, because I don't think it's quite as scary as maybe it looks right now. So what is the M2? It's free circulating, easy to access liquidity. Okay, so think of cash in banks and cash in your pocket, etc. When there's lots of M2 floating around, risk assets tend to do better, like property, stocks, and Bitcoin. And the blue line, which I can show you here, is the global M2, excluding the Japan M2. Now, if you want to put this on your chart, which I highly recommend, you go to indicators and write M2 money and select the top one that says Sakane here. Okay, just click it and click it twice and you'll add 2 of these to your chart. Then what you want to do is, if you're on a weekly chart, you can select 12, because there's around a 12-week delay from present day to when it starts to show up in the Bitcoin chart. And this seems to be about the amount of time it takes to print money and then see the money circulating around and have its effect. The good news is this gives us a 3 months kind of head start on where crypto prices could be moving. Now, by clicking the cog, you can put on the inputs, you can select Japan and deselect the rest. Okay, and then you're going to see this kind of thing. Now, why I've got a Japan one versus the other ones, you can see that the Japan one has been tracking very carefully, whereas the global M2 quite clearly stopped tracking price somewhere in and around July of last year. Now, for those of you who were knocking around last year, you may have actually heard me talking about this before and how the Japan M2 should probably be paid attention to. And this is exactly what I said here on May the 25th, 2025. The secret sauce is that it's very closely correlated to like the Japan M2 and EU M2. Okay, so we see that correction take place because of EU M2. But if this continues lower and we start to see Japan M2 also doing the same, then this would be where we start to see our likely correction. Japan M2 doing something very, very similar here. This is what's telling me that sometime into July, things are going to get a little bit interesting. Now, you could see something as well, that these fall off around the 7th of July. Okay, so what do we like to see before this happens, and what would be a good time to tell us that maybe we want to take some profits? Now, I'm not saying sell all your crypto completely, okay, but it might be a good idea to take some profits if the market's getting very hot by then. And it's likely to get very hot by then because of this rally that's going to take place here. Now, just a quick shout out to what went wrong there, because you know something went wrong, right? Because we talked about this and we noticed this, but we didn't really kind of pick up on it up here. And it's one of my biggest lessons in crypto over the years. And it's because I fell into believing that we were likely going to see something happen again because it had happened before. You know, back in 2021, we saw Bitcoin and altcoins pumping like crazy and everyone went into full-blown euphoria. Everyone was ready to kind of see the market go higher and higher. This was one of the things that I was expecting to see again at the end of last year. It didn't happen. In fact, Bitcoin perfectly followed the Japan M2. And if I just paid attention to that, and if I'd been alright with the fact that the altcoins hadn't seen much activity for reasons I'm going to explain later because they're following something else, then it would have obviously made a lot more sense. And this is one of the biggest problems in crypto. Lots of people like to know that something happened before, so it will happen again. And this is one of the main theories being believed by the masses right now, that crypto bottomed in November or December of the midterm year. Therefore, it must do that again. That is one of the major problems. And that comes from not really understanding what Bitcoin and the altcoins have been following. So I didn't want to just believe something was going to happen again based on the fact that it already had happened. I wanted to focus on what was driving these markets. This is where we've ended up. So before we look into the altcoins, let's understand 2 things. What is the logical reasoning behind why the Japan M2 affects the Bitcoin price? And then we're going to look at where it's headed over the next few months. And the logical reason behind it is this. Over the past few years, you've probably heard about something called the Japan carry trade. This is a very, very important thing because over the past 30 or so years, the Bank of Japan has had like 0% interest rates, sometimes negative, which meant that everyone around the world began borrowing money from Japan in order to invest in stuff. They invested in property and real estate. They invested into different companies. They bought stocks. They bought risk assets like crypto, lots of other things like that because they could borrow money for free. Why wouldn't they do that? All of a sudden, Japan had inflation problems. They started to hike their interest rates. What does this mean? It meant that all of the people who've been borrowing massive amounts of money and placing leverage on that money had to suddenly panic and start returning that money. Where do they pull that money out of first? Well, they start to pull it out of risk assets. So think about this for a moment. Imagine you've got a mortgage on your house and you get a spare few $100 each month after paying your mortgage, paying for all your house bills and everything else. Happy days. You can afford to maybe go and buy some Bitcoin and put some leverage positions on your Bitcoin or whatever else it is. all of a sudden interest rates go up. Now you don't actually have that spare money available. You start needing to put more money back into your mortgage, which means that you now can't really afford to keep those Bitcoin positions open, and rather you have to put that money into buying food and groceries or whatever else it is you need to pay for. So what do? You start to sell off your Bitcoin and close out your Bitcoin trades so that you can move that money back to the bank. This is literally exactly how I explain what has been happening here. When the M2 from Japan falls, there is less free, easy money available for spending on riskier assets like Bitcoin and crypto. And this is why I believe that stocks and everything have been able to boom, whilst Bitcoin and some of the other risk assets have had a really torrid time. So where do we think this is going next? Well, as you can see, this is the orange line here, and it suggests over the next couple of days or so, we could see a little bit more downwards price action for Bitcoin. Now remember, this doesn't tell us exactly where the price is going to go. It simply tells us where we can expect to see pivots in price. Okay, it doesn't tell us that it has to go down to 60k or 50k or whatever. It simply tells us a pivot point. But as you can see, we have already seen a lot of pain in and around here push down towards these levels. So I would suggest at this time it's important to look at some of the other things like long-term holder supply ratios. Okay, this shows you this massive blue spike suggesting that most of the Bitcoin supply right now sits in the hands of the long-term holders. When you see the bottoms typically in, you see spikes in long-term holders. When you see spikes in short-term holders, which is this blue line here, it's time to be thinking about getting out the market because they typically spike in activity around the top of the market. This is a very key thing to observe. Okay, so bottom of market usually in, I personally believe because of all the on-chain data and what I'm seeing from the M2 money, that around now that we've already seen the bottom. So in reality, a potential couple of red days may be coming up, followed by a very big boom, and this one kind of runs into and around kind of 18th of July to probably around the 7th of August in terms of the window that it gives us. Now, this is not 100% accurate from the days that it gives us, but it is very likely to give us a particular window in which this activity could take place. What do we see after? Obviously might be causing some concern here. We see this obviously track down to the previous low, which many people will see as saying, well, this is obviously going to see the Bitcoin price return to the 60k level in and around kind of September time. Now, not necessarily, because ultimately when you see in the past, this top here coming in roughly the same sort of level for the Bitcoin price, that top was actually a very different performance from that top here all the way to that one was a 50% move. And if you see some of these, yes, they are slightly higher. This one at the moment is slightly higher. The actual pushes can be very, very substantial. It doesn't have to come all the way down to the lows that are seen here. And this is why I'm keeping the global M2 on hand as well, because this dip, as you can see, was caused not only by the Japan M2, but also the global M2. Then you can start to see the M2 of the global M2 increasing, which could be responsible for this kind of move in here, concurrently with what's been going on the Japan M2. So the fact that this is much higher than this suggests that the bottom is more than likely in, and it has been in for the last month or so, and that this is likely going to be a higher low. Because whilst this is not as influential as the Japan M2, it still holds weight here. Okay, this is still a key one to be looking at, is the blue one. When they both work in conjunction together, you get a much more explosive price action, either higher or lower. So personally, I believe bottom in for Bitcoin. Personally, I believe we swing higher, somewhere to around probably 70s up until the 70Ks. Maybe we then track down sometime in and around August, put in a higher low, okay, which could be around here, and then push higher. Yeah, but let's track this as we go. Make sure you're subscribed and we'll continue to track this into future videos. Anyway, the important part, the one that we probably care about more than anything, and that is the altcoins. How the altcoins are different. Are we ever going to get an altcoin season? Let's think about it for a moment. Whilst the M2 drives Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is clearly very closely linked to this particular liquidity model, the altcoins have been different. And this is very, very obvious when you compare the Bitcoin price and the others chart, which I did earlier on. So what do the altcoins follow? Well, I think they follow two things, and they need two of these things at the same time to happen in order to see a major altcoin season. Now, we haven't seen this since all the way back in 2021 when everything went crazy. And it's not because that was with retail and whatever else. It was simply because of these two different aspects that I'm going to talk about here. Now, on the top, you have the others versus Bitcoin chart, altcoins outside the top 10 versus Bitcoin. And on the bottom, you have the copper versus gold chart. And in the middle, you have the ISM. Now, I know I've shown you this before, but let's just think about this for a moment because we need to understand that this is part of it, not the whole thing. Now, as you can see, when the economy in the US is strong, you see the ISM, or the manufacturing index, going up. Now, quickly, let me roughly explain what the ISM is. Manufacturing index. When the economy is strong and growing and in expansion, you start to see the ISM rising. Okay, it shows manufacturing is increasing. That would be bullish, right? Because when manufacturing is increasing, then it means that the US is also consuming more products from overseas. It means it's selling more products. And therefore, to be selling more products, it means that people in general have got more money. If people have got more money, where do they get the money from? It's probably because they had jobs, because there's more manufacturing. You get the picture. Another very key indicator of that is the copper versus gold price. When copper is going up and gold is going down, it sends a similar signal. It shows that there's lots of manufacturing going on, because copper is used in making houses, making cars, computers, whatever it is. Okay, so more component parts, whatever it might be. When copper's going up, it shows a strong economy. When the ISM is going up, it links in with high copper prices. And this also ties in with the others versus Bitcoin chart. Look, this is the bottom, copper versus gold, top, others versus Bitcoin. And you can see this basically bottoms here back in June of 2025. Remember, the others chart topped in a different time from when the Bitcoin chart topped. Others, altcoins, have had a horrible time over the past few years, barely any activity. It's not because retail's not coming back and altcoins are dead, okay? It's simply because over the past few years, we have seen contraction in the ISM. See this red one here? This is because the balance sheet, the Federal Reserve, has been going down. They were in quantitative tightening. During that time, the Bitcoin price went up, driven by M2 expansion, which is slightly different from this. So while the M2 could drive Bitcoin, it couldn't push the altcoins. So as you can see right now, something very, very exciting is the fact that the copper versus gold chart is on the verge of breaking out. A breakout here, you would like to think, is going to give the others versus Bitcoin chart a nice breakout. But remember, there are two things that the others versus Bitcoin chart needs in order to see that exciting full-blown altcoin season that we all want. And it is not just this expansion, okay, but it is also the Bitcoin price to go up. Once you have these two things together, then you're going to see the altcoins really massively outperforming Bitcoin. So effectively what we need to see is the M2 money supply from Japan and global M2 continuing to rise. And I'll talk about what's controlling this in just a moment. And at the same time, you need to see the ISM numbers continue to rise, which we will continue to see because the Fed is effectively quantitative easing right now through the printing of T-bills. It's not called QE, but it's basically having the same effect. This is going to continue to expand because the US and many other countries are in insane amounts of debt and they can only print themselves out of the problem. This is the debasement trade that everyone's so excited about. This is basically what's going to drive the others versus Bitcoin. And also, if they print more money and they weaken the US dollar, then it's going to cause the Japan M2 to also push towards the upside. And here's why. If I go to the DXY, which is the US dollar index, and I invert the scale, and you put the Japan M2 to present day by just typing 0 in here and putting it OK, then you can see that this basically is in line with what's happening on the Japan M2. So when the dollar goes up, remembering I flipped this upside down, it forces down the Japan M2. When the dollar goes down, it forces up the Japan M2, meaning what happens to the dollar today is going to affect the Bitcoin price in 3 months' time based on the Japan M2. Because obviously if the dollar's weakened, then the Japanese bank can print more money and ease on their economy. Obviously if the dollar's too strong, it upsets the model and then they have to tighten. So what we simply want to see is the dollar weaken and push lower. Now, I do think that we are close to seeing this because the dollar has been very, very strong over the past few years. And you can see running into the zone up here. Now, if this dollar does go and break way out of here and start surging towards the upside, the chances are the Bitcoin price could push lower over the next few months. Ultimately, what we want to see it do is reject here. If it rejects here, it's guaranteed that the Bitcoin bottom is in. And you're not going to see lower prices from here. And I think, to be honest, this is where I kind of sit. Okay, I see the dollar weakening. I do see eventually Middle Eastern conflict kind of cooling down. I do see the potential to start bringing down interest rates and things like that, which is going to weaken the dollar. That's the thing we should be paying attention to the most. That's where things get most exciting as far as I'm concerned. Now, guys, over the next few weeks, I'm going to do more tutorials and explain a little bit more about what's kind of happening across crypto. If you want really more in-depth kind of content, stuff like that, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. It just gets the algorithm warmed up and it helps me out far more than you know. So if you've been getting value, please just do me a favor. Leave a comment, hit that like. Also, right now, if you're actively trading and interested in upping your trading game, or you want to go and learn how to trade yourself for absolutely free, then make sure you join the link down below for WEEX, because we partnered up with them to have full-time professional traders sharing different trading signals as well as advice and education on trading. There are only limited limited slots available, so make sure you act fast if you want to get involved. Join through the WEEX link down below. Once you deposit on the exchange, you'll get a link that you can then use to join the free Telegram. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.